I bought myself some new lenses and I'm not sure if I'm going to keep them, but today I wanted to talk about what I got and why I got them. So if you've been following along, you know we both have Canon M50s and it's a great travel camera. And last year I took the Canon M50 with me on a cruise. Now it's coming up to that time again this year when our family does some sort of vacation and we're going on another cruise again. And I loved having this small camera with me. The previous times I've cruised, I've taken my Nikon DSLR and all the big lenses and everything, and it's very cumbersome. So I really enjoyed the small lens and camera setup, but I was lacking some lenses last year, and I actually brought some EF and EFS lenses with me last year. But now I wanted to bring some M mount lenses. So I picked up 3 new lenses to take with me on this trip. The first one I picked up is this. It's the Canon 11-16 M mount wide angle lens. So this is going to give me a focal equivalent of roughly 17 to, I don't know, 24, 25, something like that. So it's a wide angle lens, and I'm in my den here and I took a couple of shots in the room here to just show you what the focal length looks like. So here it is at 16 millimeters and then here it is at 22 millimeters. So it gives you a little bit of a focal range, but this is going to be my landscape lens when I take it on this trip with me. The next lens I got was a used fisheye lens. I paid $120 for this. And this is, you know, when I took this out of the box, it is super heavy, super solid. And what a nice little lens. So I can't wait to use this. The company that makes this is called Artisans, or 7 Artisans. It's a crop sensor fisheye. It's a 7.5 millimeter. So on the M50 with the crop sensor, it's going to be around 12 millimeters. And I like the bending that a fisheye lens does. So here's the 16 millimeter again, and now I'm going to show you what a wide angle with a fisheye looks like in the same room. These are great to get interesting shots, maybe something that's a little, you're trying to bend the perspective or just get creative with. So I love having a fisheye lens in my bag, and I never had one before with the M50. So now I have this one. And the last lens I got, I'm very excited about. Now, you like to use a more of a telephoto lens for shooting portraits and things like that, and I usually use a 70-200. I have a 135 prime, but it's manual, and it's hard to use it quickly, so you have to take your time with it. It's a very deliberate lens. So what I got was the Sigma 56mm 1.4, and I took a couple of images from around the house here, and this has a super shallow depth of field, so I'm really looking forward to using this to take pictures of my family and friends, and just using this as a portrait lens. It's a real solid feel. It has a detachable lens hood. From everything I can tell, this is going to be a great lens. So here's the same picture of this room with this lens, and this will give you an idea of, it's a much more zoomed in perspective. So these 3 lenses, along with the kit lens that I have and the 22 millimeter f2 lens that I'm actually using right here on the M50, it's going to give me a pretty nicely well-rounded kit, and it's much smaller than what I would normally take with me. And I'm actually putting things into my camera bag here, and it's too big. The camera bag is too big. I'm used to having a DSLR and big lenses in there, so I have to find a different way to pack this, maybe use a smaller bag, which is a nice problem to have if you're traveling. So this is a little preview. I'm going to be going in depth with each of these lenses, and I'm really curious to see how they perform, out in the real world, and then coming back and letting you guys know how they work. Look out for those reviews of these lenses in the next couple of weeks. It should be very interesting, and maybe I'll do some shooting tutorials while I'm out there using these lenses, because the photography aspect of things, it really doesn't matter which camera you're using, as long as you have full access to the controls of the camera. And a camera like the M50 lets me do that. So they work identically as a bigger, more expensive camera. So it's going to be interesting to see how the images turn out. Okay, I'll see you in the next one.